Warning: the following video is a satire. It is not to be taken seriously by anyone, anywhere. If you can't take a joke, don't watch this video. If you don't like foul language, do not watch this video. You have been warned. If you choose to watch this video, you understand the rights that you have and don't have. You have the right to enjoy it. You have the right to hate it. You do not have the right to complain about the fact that it has foul language and that it could be offensive. I told you, this is a satire. It's a joke. It's going to get in trouble. We just went over the rules. What could happen if you do something, sexual assault or rape. Keys to prevent a sexual assault or rape from occurring is following your gut when you sense something is wrong and never hesitate to speak up. Never hesitate to get help from others, even the police, if a situation is spiraling out of control. Sexual assault can be prevented by making sure you always have a partner's consent in your personal, intimate situations. Men especially can start to change a culture that accepts taking advantage of others by simply being willing to speak up and step up. It's hard to do, but we've got to do it. We've got to talk. When you see something that you don't like, that isn't right. Viva la revolution! Alright, we've talked about how a person might intervene to help or prevent an act of sexual assault or rape. But there's always a possibility you won't be there at the right time to stop a friend from being assaulted. So what should a person do if their friend is sexually assaulted or raped? We're going to run through another scenario, try to pick the best choices for this one. Alright, our friend Denise thinks she's been sexually assaulted. I'm going to ask for details. You need to know the whole story before you can decide whether to help her. Find out if the incident involved alcohol before deciding to help her. Believe your friend right away and assure her that she's not to blame. Believe her. Assure her that she's not to blame. We think this is the best move. You're believing Denise is exactly what she needs. Truth is, people rarely make up stories about being sexually assaulted. It takes a lot of strength for her to talk about what happened. At the same time, she will need support and reassurance that she's not to blame. Because she isn't. We've talked about this already, viewers. You're not to blame if you're the victim. Alright. Now we gotta figure out what our next move is. We can immediately call the police and report the crime for her. Gather a group of friends to confront the guy who did this to her. We'll let Denise make her own decisions about how to handle the reporting of the crime. Could call the cops, because she might not. But she might want to handle this in her own way. Pace herself. So we're going to let her make her own decisions. See what it is. It's a really good move. At the point, Denise needs to decide on her own whether she wants to report the rape. Whether you agree with the decision or not, Denise needs her decision to be supported and respected by those around her. Best thing you can do is to help her explore options for getting help. Alright. So we've gotten through. Gonna give her the time she needs. So let's see what else. What's next? Alright. Denise seems to be suffering from a post-traumatic stress disorder. She isn't eating. She isn't leaving her apartment. She isn't talking to anybody. So let's see what we gotta do. We can assure her that nothing will happen to her again. Let her know that we missed the old Denise and encourage her to put this behind her. Move on. We'll encourage her to seek counseling. That's what we're gonna do. Best course of action. Dealing with the aftermath of sexual assault is never something a victim should try to take on alone. Seeking professional help is crucial to the healing process. It can take a long time for a victim of sexual assault to come to terms with what happened. Talking to a professional might help reduce the feelings of fear and depression. In summary, friend tells you he or she is the victim of sexual assault, it's very important to keep in mind the following. Believe your friend right away. Let her know that he or she is not to blame. Don't pressure your friend for details. Let your friend decide how and whether to report the situation to the authorities. Be patient in the recovery process and encourage your friend to seek professional help. Now we're going to talk about stalking and harassment. Did you know that 1.5 million people in the United States are stalked every year? Stalking often involves violence. It can be extremely scary and dangerous. See how much you know about stalking. I've got someone outside my window right now. It scares the shit out of me. But I'm here. I'm doing this. Stalking is a difficult crime to deal with because most states do not technically recognize it as a crime. Fact or not a fact? It's not a fact. Stalking is in fact considered a crime in all 50 states. It's defined as a pattern of repeated and unwanted attention, harassment, contact, or any other course of conduct directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to feel fear. 1 out of 12 American women have been stalked at some time in her life. That could potentially be higher, but I'm going to say it's a fact. I'm not sure. 1 out of 12 women, or 8.2 million, have been stalked during their lifetime. For men, the number is smaller, but not insignificant. 1 out of 45, 2 million have been stalked. Go away. I want your shit, you bitch. Man, he won't leave me alone. I don't even know who the fuck he is. Anyways, let's move on. Very few stalkers end up actually hurting anyone. It's not a fact. Fool scratching up my windows. Actually, 25 to 35% of all stalking cases involve violence. Along with physical violence is the emotional trauma. If you're being stalked, if someone is following you, do not go home. Stay in well-populated public areas. Don't hesitate to call 911. Don't bargain, compromise, or do anything that might give the stalker encouragement to keep stalking you. If the stalker is your romantic partner, you can legally charge that person with stalking. Say that's a fact. Stalking is a crime no matter what. So even if you are romantically involved, you could still be charged for stalking. It's now asking me if I would like to join some kind of organization, but I don't even think my campus has that. Okay. I'm going to take the test again. The number 1 date rape drug is alcohol. Regardless of whether a person has been drinking or sober, if she did not consent to have sex, then it is rape. Again, it's agree to strongly agree, to strongly disagree. The term sexual assault and rape mean essentially the same thing, strongly disagree. Most men think it's important to have a consent for sex, strongly agree. It's again asking me if I've been a victim. Still, the answer is no. As a review, you've learned that most men will never commit sexual assault, place a high value in acquiring their partner's consent. Alcohol can impair a person's ability to give consent, and is not a legal defense for sexual assault. There are some serious legal consequences for committing sexual assault and rape. Men can be victims of sexual assault perpetrated by other men or women. Here are some things you can do to prevent sexual violence on campus. Start a discussion. Get involved with sexual violence prevention on your campus. Organize a charity benefit for your local domestic violence or rape crisis center. A few things you can do. Be a strong leader. Organize a sexual assault awareness event. A few other things. Gives you some links to click on. Okay, we should be coming up to the end of Module 2. On the last part, laws and policies.